Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here, this time doing another anime film review, and this one is on Kiki's Delivery Service. Now, as you know, Kiki's Delivery Service was a 1989 animated Japanese film that was written, produced, and directed by Hayao Miyazaki, as well as being adapted by the novel of the same name from 1985 by Iko Kaduno. And what's actually interesting is that it did get an English release, the novel, back in 2003. And what's actually interesting, there were two different dubs of Kiki's Delivery Service. Streamline Pictures back in 1990 and the Disney one back in 1997 and 1998. Now, the premise of the movie is meant to follow a young 13-year-old girl known as Kiki, who mainly leaves home as soon as she becomes 13, and accompanied by her black cat Gigi, she ends up basically flying on her broomstick and heading to the port city of Koriko. And you can kind of tell she wants to try and find somewhere to live, trying to find a purpose, and trying to find somewhere where she can basically find a career. And I think this is mostly like when we leave home to sort of find our own calling, where we want to find our own place, where we want to sort of start something big. And we kind of see how a young baker woman known as Osan Sozo is impressed with her efforts, and you can tell she starts to help her fund her business, and Kiki basically starts her own delivery service. And yeah, there is a lot of mishaps. She starts to get a bit screwy, but again, you can tell she's just starting as a business person. And for someone who's done business on Facebook Marketplace, there is always going to be a few hit and misses. And also, when you kind of also got her potential love interest or friend, Tomo, you can kind of tell he's impressed by Kiki's skills and that. And again, he's just thrown in there to sort of be the male friend, nothing more. And I think there was a lot they could have done with him. I think it would have been interesting to have seen him be this kind of like writer who wants to do a school article about witches, and really could have been an interesting idea. He could have found witches to be fascinating, much like how Ron Weasley's father found muggles fascinating. So pretty much for the movie, it's mostly about Kiki trying to handle her business, as well as trying to find her spark again near the end. And when we kind of introduce to characters, they do have a reason for being there. When you kind of got Ursula, who is meant to be this young, gifted artist, and is trying to find her spark. And I think she does work as a character. She's not really shown as much, but you can kind of tell she tries to be a friend and mentor. Also, when you kind of got Madam, you can kind of tell she sees a lot of potential in Kiki, and sort of wants to thank her for giving her spoiled granddaughter her birthday gift. As well is that when you kind of got, say, Kiki's parents, they do want to see the best from her, and I think this does work. Now, I think at the same time what the film does suffer from is that the plot does kind of try to pace itself up. You can kind of tell they really want to find something, but most stuff feels enforced, like Kiki losing her powers, which seems a bit enforced, but I get it, it was meant to help her find her spark again. And I think another problem that I have a bit with the movie, it seems like everyone is okay with witches coexisting with people. Again, it would have been interesting to have seen some people having prejudice against witches, and you could have had a mayor from the port city of Koriko against witches and trying to prove to people that Kiki's trying to, ruin their way of life. And it could have been an interesting idea for Kiki to prove the mayor wrong. That's just how I would have seen it. And I would say some of the voice cast in the Disney dub do a good job. I would say when you got Kiki's voice actor played by Phil Hartman, you can tell he does give this really sassy, more kind of arrogant character feel. When you got Karen Dunis, she does do a decent job. She does try to give this young, sort of gifted girl feel. And I feel the ending could have took place 5 or 6 weeks later. And I feel you could have had it that, Kiki and Tombo basically carrying on as friends, and Kiki writing her letter while looking out from the window, seeing Kiki with his family, and could have been a bit more influenced. And I think that really could have been a more close to home feel. And I feel for someone who started a Facebook business by selling comics and that on Facebook, it's kind of like, you want to do a business to sort of show people you've got what it takes. And yeah, sometimes in life we all move on. We all usually want to find a place to sort of start our own life, our own adventure. So I think by the end of it, Kiki's delivery service is a little hit and miss, but it's still alright. I think it deserves a thumbs in the middle. It's kind of alright, kind of okay, but again, it's a little bit of a hit and miss. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.